Good morning, good afternoon, guys. And good morning and welcome to my co-host, Project Storytime. Hey!
Top of the morning to you.
Looking sharp in that bowler hat. I love it.
It's my mad Photoshop skills.
I'm impressed. I absolutely love it. When it pops up on the screen, I was like, okay, that's awesome. That's really cool. Let's see who we've got with us. We've got Mark and Chris. Good to see you. We've got the Newport TARDIS. Good to see you as well. We've got Arwin. Good morning. Let's see. Keely Chow. Good to see you. Kaylee D. Good morning. Snora Poopers. Hello. Good morning to Sherry. Let's see who else. We've got Larry. Good morning. Terry Rose. Good to see you as well. Let's see, scrolling up so I'm not missing anybody. We had Leia. Good to see you, Leia Rose. Good morning. I think that was everybody. Brandon was in. I think Brandon was actually first.
Yeah, he was first.
Brandon was first.
Damn it.
And
ending the new year on a low.
But we have the new year to kick off, so
I was first for my stream. That's tomorrow.
Yay! And good afternoon to Wenzology and Darren Zone. Good to see you, and Ren Zero as well. Hello. Let's see, Izaj Melody is in as well. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Guys, we are going to talk Monty Python, obviously. I've got a big Monty Python fan with me in Project Storytime. But before we do, there is something that I wanted to mention, especially for our UK listeners. So I tweeted this out as well. I believe it's been put in Valhalla. And guys, if you live in or around the Yorkshire area, could you please keep an eye out for this little fellow? He is missing at the moment. He's only 12 years old. We don't have a lot of information because it's only just come to light. He only was reported missing yesterday. But if you are in or around the area, or if you could just keep an eye out for him, fingers crossed he will be found safe and sound. We can get him back to his family as soon as possible. So a big thank you, guys. I believe we haven't got a lot of information on him at the moment, but the information that we have, he went missing. He's from Dewsbury. He's 4 foot tall. He's slim build with blonde hair, and it just gives a description of what he was wearing, and obviously a picture of what he looks like. So, guys, if you could just be mindful. I'm sure his family would be really appreciative, especially at this time of year.
Yeah.
So big thank you, guys. Just wanted to just start off on a serious note, but we promise we're going to talk Python now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope he's found.
Thank you. I do too. And a big hello to we've got a lot of people that have just come in. We've got Soul Assassin, good to see you. We've got Mr. Buttcrack Media, welcome to see you.
I love that name.
Always makes me smile. We've got Josiah Clinch, good to see you as well. And Brandon the anime guy, who was first. And Zakarot, I saw you as well. And DJ Ronnie G, hello guys, welcome. So, Project Storytime, I've got to ask, as an American, obviously Monty Python, it's kind of like a national institution over here. It's been said that their influence as comedy has been compared to the Beatles' influence on music. How was it for an American? How did you kind of find the madcap comedy of Monty Python?
Well, I was in high school when I was introduced to Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail and thought it was the funniest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. And I just looked into, okay, who are these British guys? And like, oh, one of them's already dead. Okay, that's fun. And
that's a shame.
Yeah. It just like found the Flying Circus and watched the other movies, and just I fell in love with them. Just the greatest collection of comedians the world has ever known. They all had different strengths that just meshed so well together.
Yes, they really did. And it's surprising when you think of it, because all of these guys are really highly educated. They're from
Mm-hmm.
Oxford and Cambridge, and it's it's kind of funny to think that they got into such crazy shenanigans with their comedy. But as you say, they had such a great blend of personalities. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And also just the fact that because they all had like such different accents as well, they were able to like each play like different classes, which
Hmm.
also helped as well. So like, like Eric Idle has a very almost Cockney like accent, and then John Cleese has this extremely posh accent. Or I'm sorry,
Yes,
I'm sorry. It's what?
it's upper class.
Oh, um, posh.
Posh. I'm sorry. I was reading
I
the
was
chat. I was
I
like,
was bringing back a joke.
oh, I am so
It's
sorry. Yes,
an old one.
posh indeed. Gotta keep that going for Mark.
Yes. Um, and then also just the fact that they weren't afraid to be so physical as well. I mean, like the Ministry of Silly Walks, it only John Cleese could have done that because he's so tall and lanky.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
And Mark says Tilly Gillingham and John Cleese, they worked so well together. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a big part of it as well was Tilly Gillingham's just insane animations. I've
Yes.
never seen anything like this until it was on the Python, and I've never seen anything like it since. Just so surreal.
Mm-hmm. And you also need to keep in mind this is also the '60s. He didn't have a computer to do this animation. He's doing it all by hand.
It was all hand animated. It's crazy to think. And I mean, you can kind of see what he's doing, he's just sliding different pictures across, but
Right.
it still works incredibly well.
And he still kept it pretty fluid with its motions too, which
Hmm.
is outstanding. And so you would have like these bizarre sketches and then this transition animation to the next sketch. It's like I don't know how they structured it like that.
They really were multi-talented. It wasn't, like you say, wasn't just the comedy that they had with the impeccable timing and the
Hmm.
writing and the different accents that they could do to bring these characters to life, and the animation, but the singing as well. Some of the
Yeah.
songs that they came out with, like the lumberjack song.
Yeah. And then also there's just something really funny about grown ugly men dressed up as women that's just funny.
Yes, they dressed up a lot as women. It was kind of sus, to be honest, how much they enjoyed dressing up. But that seemed to be kind of the style at the time, because I
Hmm.
remember a lot of comedians would dress up as women to do skits. Um,
Flip
the two
Wilson.
Ronnies, exactly, yeah,
Hmm.
did as well. And Kitty Chow says, "I would love for Spamalot to be turned into a movie."
It kind of already was.
That would be really meta, to take a movie that went into a theatre production to turn it back into a movie. That would be amazing, and
Hmm.
actually a very Python thing to do.
It would be. It would be. And I've seen Spam a lot on stage, and it was amazing.
I've seen Spamalot as well. I was really impressed with it. I thought it was great.
Mhm. I don't know if they had it in your production, but the one I saw when they're like walking through the woods and he's like, "We're lost in this very dark and expensive forest." They had a cash register sound, and they put lights of a dollar symbol all over the trees. And that's an inside gag because it's just planks of wood that they just carved into tree shapes. It's really cheap.
It's incredibly cheap, yes, and probably stuff that they'd recycle from previous productions.
Probably.
And Rab Marshall started the spam song.
There it is.
There we go. So, do you have favorites? I mean, we'll talk about the films first, because you said that was your jumping in point.
Mhm.
Have you? Was that your kind of favorite? Did you always like the meaning of life, the life of Brian, the Holy Grail? Was it that?
I mean, all the movies have some outstanding moments, but you never forget your first, and for me, that's Holy
Uh-huh.
Grail.
I loved Holy Grail, and for me, I think that's the best written. I think it's the tightest comedy.
I think that helps too. I think it
Yeah.
is the most coherent.
I like Life of Brian, and I
Mhm.
like the controversy that it stirred up because you knew that they were absolutely reveling in it.
Mhm.
And the Meaning of Life has some great songs. I still know all the words to Every Sperm is Sacred to this day.
I loved after that, you just see this line of children walking out of that building.
And it's funny because it's true. That's the thing. A lot of people really gave them stick for their comedy, but a lot of it was so true. You just couldn't be mad at them. And hello to Ed Brewery said this link just showed up in my Twitter timeline. Entertain me. We will try to do that, sweetheart. Good morning or good afternoon, whichever it is. Mark says I'm not a major Monty Python fan, but the parrot skit is the best one ever. That one I would be inclined to agree, and they have done that so many times over the years. I think they incorporated it into their live shows because it was so popular.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I also have some of their live recordings from some of their live productions, and they're also just outstanding.
I think it was like they did parrot skit. I know they did the lumberjack song because people love to sing along with that. The philosopher song, I believe, was always very popular.
I forgot about that one. Yes.
I know a lot of the words to that as well. I know it starts off, Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely sober, and it just goes on and on like that.
Right.
It's so funny. If I sing anymore, I'm going to get a copyright claim. Brandon says the Holy Grail from Monty Python and History of the World from Mel Brooks were massive jumping points for me and upscale comedy.
Those
that
are two
I would
good
agree
ones.
with. Those are two fantastic ones, and two that I think are actually pretty close in tone for comedy.
Yeah, they are.
Rab Marsha says, "Always look on the bright side of life." That's a great one as well.
That's amazing.
Did you have a favorite member of the Pythons?
I mean, I do like them all, but it's hard for me to go against John Cleese as my favorite. I think he's the most versatile.
Yes, and I always found John Cleese, especially when he's doing the more kind of straight roles that he plays in the comedy, quite intimidating because he's so tall. He just looms over people.
Okay. Also, I think it's of all the Pythons, I think he's had like the most successful career post Monty Python.
Yes,
and he did like tons of guest appearances on countless other shows and stuff like that. So I'm also a huge fan of the sitcom Cheers.
Nice.
And John
Cheers for years. Oh my god.
Well, John Cleese did a cameo appearance on that. And this is an absolutely true story. So I was my roommate at the time, we were going through Cheers because he hadn't seen it. And when we got to the episode where John Cleese guest starred, the TV blew out. And we just accepted John Cleese's awesomeness just destroyed the TV.
You know what? I'd take it and I would believe it, to be honest. I can admit I love John Cleese as well. I always liked Michael Palin. I thought he was great as well.
Very good.
Fantastic, especially he was really good with the accents. Some of the ones that I was trying to think of what he's done. I mean, he was in the Spanish Inquisition, for example, when he's trying to do that terrible sort of Spanish accent.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Bring out the comfy chair. And then you just have Terry Gilliam with this over-exaggerated face of, not the comfy chair.
Yes, he's just kind of skulking around in the background like Igor. It's just so stupid. And the other one that he did that I thought was absolutely brilliant was kind of like a spoof on working class and upper class relations. It was the working class playwright skit where he wants to be a coal miner, but his father is a playwright, and it's kind of, it flips it on its head. It's just really, really silly, and it's a great combination of Graham Chapman and Terry Jones playing the parents.
Man, they were all so ugly funny. As women.
That's so ugly, but it worked.
Yes. I think my favorite Michael Palin sketch, I like the underappreciated ones. So I mean, as much as I like the Argument Clinic and the Dead Parrot sketch, when I was in college, our professor flat out said you can't use those two if you're going to bring in a Monty Python thing.
That's cheating.
Because, well, also they got sick of them because every student was bringing those two sketches.
Ah.
So, like, if you're gonna do a Monty Python sketch, you can't do those two. Anyway, so my favorite Michael Palin sketch is Bicycle Repairman. There's just something insane about the visual of everyone walking around dressed as Superman, and then they need help fixing a bike. That's just amazing. The superhero is the guy in overalls with a tool chest.
I love absurd comedy, and it just works so well when they do stuff like that. The other one that I was thinking of was this one's mainly an Eric Idle one, and it's the oh god, I think it's the nudge nudge wink wink one.
Yes,
he's in the pub. Yeah.
Nudge nudge wink wink. Not a me. Say no more. Say no more.
Say no more. Exactly.
I mean, you've had sex with a lady. Yes.
Yes.
What's it like?
It's like you've done it, right? You've yes. It's so dumb. It's like, she's into photography, is she? I bet she is. Say no more. Say no more. Yes. It's so dumb.
Oh, from Scarsdale. Say no more. Oh, yes. Funniest joke in the world.
Deadliest joke in the world, yes, where people quite literally die laughing after hearing this joke.
And they translated it into German.
Badly. Really, really badly, because it's just gibberish.
Yes. And I love the visual of them in old doughboy outfits running with reading the jokes as explosions are going off around them.
And hello, that 70s rock fan. He says, is this the right room for an argument?
Oh, no, this is abuse.
I love the Argument Clinic. Oh my god, that was a good one.
Another one of my favorite sketches that doesn't get that much attention because they didn't do it on the show. It came around later during their live performances.
Mm-hmm.
The Four Yorkshiremen, where it was four old men competing over who had it worse growing up, and they just get more and more ridiculous.
Oh my god, I love that sketch. Yes. We had to get up at 4:00 in the morning, eat a handful of hot gravel, and then pay the mine worker.
There were 150 of us living in a small shoebox in the middle of the road.
We had to walk 15 miles uphill both ways to get there. It's so dumb.
I had to work 29 hours a day down at the mill and pay the mill owner for permission to come to work. And when we got home, our dad would kill us and dance about in our grave singing hallelujah.
And then there's that beat, and the next one jumps in. Well, we had it really tough, and then it goes off again. It was so good, and I think they actually did that, but it was with different people because I remember Eric. It was different comedians that did it. It wasn't the Pythons, but it was just as well done.
Really?
It was
I've seen because I have one of the stage recordings, and it was Palin,
Mm-hmm.
Chapman, Jones, and Eric Idle.
Yes, that's the one that I've seen. That's the most famous one, and
Mm.
I love that skit. It's just so dumb.
Look at the road clean without tongues.
So when you start thinking about it, the different lines just pop into your head. And it just gets sillier and sillier as it goes. And hello to Max Relax. Happy New Year to you as well. Good to see you. Oh, just going back to the films for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they would have been as successful if they hadn't had the comedy show first? Do you think that that's because they had such a good foundation to build on, and they had that kind of um, fan base already built in? I think there was 45 episodes over 4 series, so that's a lot of work
That's
before
a
they.
lot of sketches.
That's a lot of sketches.
Probably not. I mean, I think they would have still been successful, but it really helped that they had the sketch comedy show in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm. I think so. And do you think it's safe to say that this also kind of influenced a lot of later comedians like Saturday Night Live with the use of skits and that sort of thing?
They probably influenced them to some degree. I mean, but I mean, sketch comedy's been around long before Monty Python. But the success of Flying Circus, I think, helped the foundation for Saturday Night Live in some ways, because they kind of let the comedians be the comedians and let them be funny. I don't know what they're doing now, but
yes, comedy's not allowed. You know,
no,
comedy's
no.
not funny anymore, and that's really sad.
Yeah, the last SNL sketch I saw, I was like cringing. Like these are the jokes.
Apparently so, and you're supposed to laugh and clap and consume and not argue. But even John Cleese, they tried to cancel him, so he cancelled himself first. He was supposed to perform at a university, if I remember correctly, and because people started talking bad about him, he was right, I'll just cancel myself, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's also the story that John Cleese, like every year, long before the days of IMDb,
Mm-hmm.
he would add like fake movie titles to his resume and just kept doing that like until people realized. So he put in like Abbott and Costello meet John Cleese or something like that, like on one of his on his filmography, until people were like, "Wait a minute,
wait a second." They got people looking for these films.
Wait, Lou Costello died before you ever rose to any kind of prominence.
We're not going to let a silly fact like that stand in the way.
No, and I now want to see Abbott and Costello meet John Cleese.
So do I so badly. And Snorter Poopers is actually his on one of my favourite skits that we haven't talked about yet. He says, "Right, stop that, it's silly. Very silly indeed. It started off as a nice little idea about old ladies attacking young men, and now it's just got silly." The Hell's Granny skit. Oh my god, the first time I saw that, I was crying. I love that skit. And Brandon says, "What is comedy?" Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh.
And just the fact that they had so many different styles of comedy. From, I mean, the argument sketch is essentially just wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
The cheese sketch is basically just funny because he doesn't stop mentioning the most outrageous forms of cheese. It's just him mentioning cheese, and it's hilarious. But then you also have like absurdist stuff, like
the dirty Hungarian phrase book, for example.
I was remembering the sheep that were in the tree.
Yes.
It is my impression that these sheep are under the delusion that they are birds. Notice how they don't so much as fly, but plummet.
And then it went all the way to things like slapstick with the fish slapping dance.
Yep.
That's just so stupid, and I always remember the first time I saw that skit because it looked like he really wallops him with that fish.
There's also the sketch where you had like a bunch of like guys like planning like a heist, but it was they go in and like pay for the watch, and Terry Jones is like, it seems like we're not doing anything illegal. And like, all right, plans off, everyone go to your rendezvous points. Like, you were just gonna go buy the watch. You're talking about like having the the getaway car, keep the engine running. It's like, but you're gonna buy it.
Just buy it now. Do you remember also the upperclack twit of the year? It was a sort of Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Just some of the names that they came out with. I think it was something like Cyril Smith or something. It's just so stupid.
And that was also the thing, that the fact that they weren't afraid to, go outside the studio to record some of their stuff as well. I think that also helped.
Yes.
I mean, every episode beginning with "it's," and then the guy just running for some reason.
Can you imagine just walking down a casual London street, just minding your own business, and just seeing these lunatics trying to film a comedy skit? You'd wonder what the hell they were doing if you weren't.
Or the Semaphore Theater, if you remember that.
Yes, the Semaphore Theater. Oh my God.
Like, now here's Anne of Green Gables, and it's just people waving flags around.
The Wuthering Heights version, Catherine. I think it was Heathcliff and Kathy waving flags at each other across the moor. It's so stupid.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff.
It's so funny. And it's weird. It seems to be a kind of generational thing as well, because whilst people our age seem to really love it, I don't know anyone younger that's really gotten into it. My mum loved it as well, but my grandmother she just thought, what the hell is this rubbish? She just didn't get the comedy at all.
It's just silly.
It is. That's exactly what she said. She said, this is just rubbish. It's not comedy. So it seems to just hit that kind of sweet spot of a certain age where people just seem to get it.
Yeah.
Phone Box Chicken says with the big
oh yes, that's right.
See, you just bring up all of these skits, and it's just funny to remember them.
Yeah.
That 70s rock fan, hello honey, says I love the Australian philosophy department, but they're all called Bruce. Yeah. Except for the new guy who's British, who's called Michael, I think. It's like, we'll just call you Bruce. Yeah.
We'll just call you Bruce.
Just call you Bruce. It'll just to avoid confusion.
and then just also go how not to be seen.
Oh my God, how not to be seen. Yes.
It just became this, oh my God, this narrator is a psychopath.
This guy is insane.
This is the first lesson on how not to be seen. Not stand up.
Boom. Yes. And Jim the Viking, thank you, honey. He sends us a $5 super chat. He says, not all comedy is dead. We had an amazing belly laugh this year when parents found out what Squid Games really was about. Happy New Year, all. Happy New Year, honey. Yes. This is what happens when you don't check to see what your kids are watching. And I haven't actually watched Squid Games, even though people said that it's a fantastic show. It's on my to watch list, but I haven't seen it yet. How about you?
No, I've not seen
No.
it.
Max Relax says the killer joke is lethal over a distance of 200 meters.
One translator accidentally read 2 lines of the joke and had to be hospitalized for a week.
And 70s Rock Fan brings up a good point. He says the Pythons owe a huge debt to Spike Milligan and the Goon Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that I would agree with. And Spike Milligan, for me, I liked him, but he was always just that little bit too out there. It was just a little bit too surreal and weird for me, even though I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. It was the Pythons that really, really made me laugh. But I did like him, and I can absolutely see what you mean. It's not a poopers.
Boom! It was the middle one. Have you ever seen that old Halo video someone did of the How Not to Be Seen sketch?
No, seriously.
Yes, someone did Halo and did it to How Not to Be Seen. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick.
Oh, I'm gonna see that. That's amazing. And Terry Rose, good to see you. Says the producer of the first series of Faulty Towers, as well as the first 4 episodes of
Faulty
Monty
Towers.
Python. I love Faulty Towers. Oh my god, we could talk about that as well
Mm-hmm.
at some point. Was John Howard Davis? Yes, he was. And a big thank you and good morning to Brandon, the anime guy. Good to see you. Says we desire a shrubbery. I'm going to have to watch it again, for research, getting an education today so I can use it tomorrow. Thank you, honey. Good to see you. And MB Geek, hello and welcome, Jesse. Good to see you as well. Thank you for joining. Hope you're having a good holiday and hope you have a good new year. Thank you so much. Bugs Meanie, hey, good to see you. Says rate them 1 to 6.
Oh, that's not fair. I can't do that. I can't, because they all had different strengths.
They did, and I think it wouldn't have worked without all of them bringing something to the table. Like you say, we had the comedy timing of John Cleese. We had the surrealism that Terry Gilliam brought. We had Graham Chapman and Terry Jones and Michael Palin all kind of being able to be so versatile with all the characters that they could become.
The outlandishness of Eric Idle, yeah.
Exactly, yes. And hello, Psycho Dwarf. He says no notice. And hello, Debug Martin. Good to see you guys. Welcome. I hope you're having a good one today. What about some of the songs that they came up with?
It's really hard to look past. Always look at the bright side of life. When my cousin graduated high school, we started to get a thunderstorm during the party, and then he just started singing "Always Look on the Bright" as this storm is just pouring down all around us. So we're just in this little tent. It's like, that's amazing.
That is so cool and very apt as well.
It is.
Oh, and then Big Geek, thank you, honey. You didn't have to do that. It says from $1.99 to $8.99. Figure it will do for all the super chats I had to. Oh, you super chat all the time, sweetheart. Thank you. Had to do it. Happy New Year, Purple Valkyrie. Happy New Year to you as well, MB Geek. I hope it's a good one for you. Bugs Meanie says you have to sing it in Eric's voice as well. You can't help it.
Seriously. I mean, I'm an American. I've never set foot in England, and yet I put on Eric Idle's accent when I do it.
You just slide into that accent. It's amazing.
Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad.
If we're talking Eric Idle singing, then we've got to bring up the Galaxy song.
That's amazing. That song is like, it's absolutely incredible.
It is, and it's really true as well.
It is.
Pretty much everything that they say is actually it's facts, but they do it in such a funny way.
Mm-hmm. And then he climbs out of a cupboard and then just goes back in when the song's done.
Yeah, just casually turns up and then he goes back in, and it goes back to the skit that they were doing where the paramedics trying to get a liver out of Terry Jones.
just pops out of a cupboard, sings a song about the galaxy, just waltzes back in. Why not?
Why not? It just works.
And then I mean, you already mentioned the lumberjack song as well, which is just so amazingly catchy, and it would get you canceled today.
Yes, it would. Unfortunately, but it's still funny.
It's still funny though. That's the thing.
I know a lot of songs of theirs that would get you cancelled. I mean, there's one that
Mhm.
they used to do for the live shows that I don't think was in any of the TV shows. It was called "Sit on My Face and Tell Me You Love Me."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think they did that on the show.
No, they didn't. But I've seen them perform it live. Well, not in person, but I've seen it recorded, performed live.
So, were you ever able to see any of their reunion tours that they did a couple years ago?
I wasn't, unfortunately. I did try to get the tickets, but
those tickets sold out like instantly.
Oh, they were gone, absolutely. Because even, as you say, they just endure. People just love the Python. And Rab Marshall, thank you, sweetheart. He has become a new member. Let me just check and see. We have got a new berserker in our midst. Thank you, honey.
Ooh.
Thank you so very much. And I think we've got a Psychodwarf. Yes, we do. There we go.
Psychodwarf 9!
Nice. See, I can't do that. Psychodwarf 9 sends a $5 super chat. He says, has anyone brought up the Confuse a Cat skit? I don't think we have, actually. We haven't talked about that one, have we?
I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
I'm trying to think how that one goes. See, all I can think of is the songs at the moment. Let's see if I can bring it up and have a refresher, because I can't remember that one, Psychodwarf. Let's have a look. I will look it up and we will talk about it in a minute, because I do know it, but I can't remember the actual...
Yeah, at the moment, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Yes. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, so starts off where they're at the vets, and then it's a highly trained group of military operatives attempting to cure a cat through the power of confusion. That's the one.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Yeah, they had a lot of like silly training things like that, because like I also remember the self-defense with fruit.
Yes, the self-defense with fruit, and the one where they're parading and they're singing that song. That's just so stupid. It's weird how authoritative John Cleese looks once you put him in any sort of uniform.
Mm-hmm. And again, the fact that he's so tall.
He really is. He towers out. And they weren't short guys. I mean, I think Michael Palin's on the shorter side, if I remember correctly. But the rest of them were pretty tall. But he just looms over everybody. And like you say, with the Ministry of Silly Walks, I don't think anybody else could have pulled that off.
Yeah, because he was so tall and so lanky. So when he did these high leg kicks, it was just funny to look at because it looked so awkward. I get it, Terry Rose.
I love that. We have another Psychodwarf super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. He says, the fetus frightening room, the machine, what goes ping. That's early on in the meaning of life, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
They're just wheeling in all of these machines, and the father tries to come in. He says, "Who are you?" He says, "Oh, I'm the father." No, I don't think you've got anything to do with this, and just pushes him back out. It's so stupid.
I also want to make sure I bring up in Holy Grail when he when King Arthur meets Dennis and his mom. I absolutely love that sketch. Because I mean, they talk about, because it simultaneously kind of makes fun of the feudal system, but then also the system they put in place to replace it also makes no sense.
And that again, that comes down to their talent with wordplay as well. I don't think we can kind of underplay just how good they were at coming up with these lines and just rattling them off so quickly.
Old woman, man, sorry. I'm 37, I'm not old.
By the end of it, I'm being oppressed. See, you saw that.
Come see the violence inherent in the system. And then, of course, you had Terry Jones as the mom.
Terry Jones always seemed to be the most likely to dress up as a female.
Well, I think it helped that Terry Jones could get the voice the highest.
Yes, yeah.
He also played really the mom in Life of Brian, right?
He did, yes.
Promised me the known world, he did. I love that line.
He's a very naughty boy. Yes.
I love that line of he promised me the known world, because it implies we think there's more.
And Brandon the anime guy, thank you, honey. He says, I'm adding full Monty Python to my list of shows to watch this next year, besides my anime regime. Happy New Year and see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Absolutely. The triumphant return of Brandon the anime guy tomorrow. Yes. Looking forward to that. Isash Melody's got a curious question. He says, can you imagine if Monty Python did the last season of Game of Thrones?
It would have been better.
Yes, it would.
It would have been better.
I would have paid good money to have seen that.
Oh my god. Now I'm picturing like Terry Jones in like a wig playing Daenerys.
Oh, all right. Now that's an image that's not going away anytime soon.
Chris Persia, I know you got Photoshop skills. Make that happen.
I'd like to see John Cleese play Tyrion.
Yes! Oh my god, yes!
It's the tallest dwarf we could find. Jim says being 6'5" really helps with this silly physical comedy sketches. Agreed, it really does. Absolutely. That, and he was so straight-faced when he does it. You know, it's just almost a blank expression. He's just a guy on his way to work, just doing this ridiculous walk.
Oh, John Cleese is a master at keeping his face so deadpan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he got used so often as basically the straight man for the sketch, because he had the very rare ability to, you know, be the straight man for the sketch and still be funny. That's hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is hard, especially when you're. A lot of times he would be the punchline of the joke, and you've still got to play it completely straight.
Mm-hmm. Well, like after the cheese sketch, he's like, "All right, if you, I'm going to ask you if you have cheese, and if you say no, I'm going to shoot you in the head." And he's so deadpan with that line.
It's the only time that I can think of him when he's not like the deadpan. It's when he's doing the dirty Hungarian phrase book, and it's translating into English. And one of the lines is, "If I told you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?" And it doesn't crack a smile or anything. It's amazing. So good.
And also I also love the philosophers playing football.
Oh, I forgot all about that
That's
one.
so dumb. And then suddenly you just have Socrates just declare Eureka, and then they just start playing soccer as the others are all pondering what the meaning of soccer is. Or I'm sorry, football. Right?
Football, exactly. We'll go for soccer as well. Just quickly, let me say a massive thank you and warm welcome to TZ Canadian. We have another berserker join our midst. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much.
You also got a Stream Elements tip.
Did I? Oh, I will have to check that out because Stream Elements has been. Oh my god. Holy crap. Man of War 665. Oh my god, honey. Thank you. It's. Man of War 665 is just at 66.50. Thank you, sweetheart. Let me pull that up in a moment and I will just see if you sent a message. If it doesn't refresh in time, we've got a pink and purple coming up in a couple of hours and I will read it out and thank you again there. So thank you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Really, really appreciate that. Wow. Holy crap. Phone box chicken says sister only saw Life of Brian after marrying a man called Brian a few years ago. I hope she enjoyed the film. I hope he enjoyed the film as well, actually.
Yeah.
It's so silly. Brian.
Don't you want to haggle?
Don't you want to haggle?
He says he won't haggle. Won't haggle? I'm paying you what you asked for.
It's not how it's done.
And then the bizarre moment where he falls off the building and falls into the alien spaceship for no apparent reason.
Exactly.
Oh my god! So and then fun. Also, I'll be remiss if I don't mention the Latin grammar lesson.
Oh, I completely forgot about that one. Oh my god.
That sketch is brilliant. It says Romans go home. No, it doesn't. What's Latin for Roman? He just gives him this Latin grammar lesson about his graffiti.
See, now that you mentioned that, I can't help but think of Bigger Stickers either. And he's just smirking at the soldier, just waiting for him to crack up after he says it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
And you can tell at one point Michael Palin is desperately trying not to laugh.
Yeah. You can see his mouth. He's biting his lip, trying not to laugh as well. I love that they kept that in. They could have just cut the scene and refilmed it, but no, they left it in.
Rab Marshall. Well, we Swadwick.
Oh my god, I can't keep up with you guys. There he is.
And also that underground society that's trying to fight the Romans and what have the Romans ever done for us? And they just start listing off every advancement the Roman civilization gave Western
Straight
society.
Roads, yep.
The
aqueducts, yeah.
Oh well, they did give us that, yeah.
Democracy, yeah. Psychodwarf, thank you, honey. Says upper class Twitter the year. I'm guessing that's upper class Twitter the year. It could be something else, but we'll go with that. Either way, yes.
You know how long, as an American, it took me a long time to hear what the other word meant. Yes.
We don't say that very often for good reasons.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, we were still talking about the songs, and the one that springs to mind, because I think it was one of the most expensive, because Meaning of Life was so expensive, was the accountancy shanty from the beginning.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that one.
Because didn't that
Yes,
almost kind of bankrupt them with how
I
much
think
it cost?
so. Yeah, and I can understand why that costs so much. It's pretty elaborate.
It really is, and it just keeps on going. You think, oh, it's going to be a silly little skit, Okay, they're pirates, okay, we get it, accountants, piracy, we get it, and then it just keeps on going, and eventually the building breaks off and literally sails off with them.
Yeah, that had to be very expensive to produce.
I can imagine, even if they were, making some of their. Well, at that point, I can't imagine they would have been making any of their own props or things. I would have imagined they just kind of outsourced them. But yeah, that was funny. Not the best song, but one of the best skits.
Yes, and then also we're Knights of the Round Table.
Oh yes. let's not go to Camelot. Tis a silly place.
I just love that is so clearly the same castle for every single shot.
Yes.
It's like they only had permission for that one location.
I've been to that castle as well, and it's only like half a castle. There's only a couple of walls still standing and like part of an interior, so they had very little space to actually film on.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's in Scotland. It's being like restored gradually, but I think back in the day, because that's probably the only place that they could afford to actually film at as a location, they had to be really creative, and hence that's why you see the same walls time and time again throughout the film, because that's all that was there.
Okay. I mean, because it looked pretty small.
It is. It's not a big building at all. No.
Okay.
I would say it's not like a grand castle. It's not like a huge palace place. It's quite a small. It's almost like a I'd say it's more like a guard place. Somewhere
It's a
on
guard
the
tower.
like a guard tower. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a great place to visit. And Brandon, thank you again, honey. He says, I'm surprised that they didn't do a sketch to AC/DC's Big Balls. That would have been right up their alley. I can only imagine what they would have done with that song.
Perhaps if we made a giant wooden badger.
Which of the films do you think are the most quotable? Because mine always kind of goes through the Holy Grail, I think.
Again, it's my first love, so I've seen Holy Grail the most often. So I would say Holy Grail is probably the most quotable. But then you also have and now for something completely different, which is just a bunch of sketches from the show. So it's like you could argue that's also the most quotable of the films, even though they were all from the show.
Darren's own Holy Grail. We've already got one.
It is very nice. Fetch a lavash.
That terrible French accent that Palin is doing.
And he even addresses it too. Like, what do you think I have this outrageous French accent?
Oh, we've got people doing the witch skit in the chat.
Oh yeah,
being a witch. Max
that weird logic actually ends up working.
Yes,
tis a fair cop.
She turned me into a newt.
I got better. And just John Cleese's just perfect timing on that. Like, I got better.
Easy Canadian says, I know it's not Monty Python, but I liked A Fish Called Wanda. I loved A Fish Called Wanda. That is a great film.
I mean, it helps that it is Monty Python-esque. I mean, it stars two of them.
It is, absolutely. And
I love see.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you can still see the chemistry that the two of them have together, even after, so long.
Mm-hmm. I was also going to just say how much I absolutely love the shot and just the sheer bravery to do it of when John Cleese is just hanging outside the window upside down and he's just so calm. And then the camera just like turns to reveal, oh my god, he's upside down hanging from this window. Like that took balls to do that shot.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I could have done it. We've got some great quotes in the chat. Oh my god, you guys.
Bring out oh my god. When I was doing this, I had a Spanish class that I had to take in college, and it was a waste of time, basically. Like, this has nothing to do with my major. I'm just doing this because I need to. So she gave us an assignment to like write a sketch. So I did my class, my little group, we put on the Bring Out Your Dead sketch and put on the Spanish subtitles and just copied that. Bam. That's what we did.
Job's a good one. What did you get for it? Did it pass?
It passed.
It passed.
It passed.
Brandon says the story of Sir Lancelot. I love the minstrel that follows him round.
Sir Robin ran away. Bravely ran away.
Brave, 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 Sir Robin.
I didn't! I never! And they were forced to eat Robin's minstrels. And there was much rejoicing.
And I love the coconuts that they're running around with. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And after the first time you see it, nobody questions it. It just carries on throughout the film.
Mm-hmm. And then also the king that was gonna marry off the prince there, and he's like, "Don't like her? What's wrong with her? She's beautiful. She's rich. She's got huge tracts of land."
Snort just knocking it. Oh my god. And that Maliche is how we know the earth is shaped. It's banana shaped. This new learning amazes me, Sir Beverly. That's so dumb. And yes, Phone Box Chicken, it's those sort of stupid little jokes. I mean, Spaceballs had it as well, where he's yelling into the gramophone, and then he takes it to talk, and then he's yelling at the guy next to him through it. It's that sort of dumb comedy that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Arwen says, and the beta prince who only wants to sing.
And every time like the song is like coming in, the father's just like, none of that. And also just the little moment between like the guards. He's like, guards, make sure the prince doesn't leave this room until they come and get him. Not to leave the room, even if you come and get him. Oh, no. Until I come and get him. There's just this bizarre moment that's hilarious.
And Mech 1164, good to see you, says, bring out the holy hand grenade. Yes.
1, 2, 5, 3, 3.
And Snorter Pooper says that would be my take on Purple and Arwen. Huge tracts of land. Thank you. And Psycho Dwarf. It burned down, fell over, then sank into the swamp.
We live in a swamp. We need as much land as we can get.
It's easy, Canadian. Nice. I think it's safe to say that we've got a lot of Python fans in the chat.
I would say so, yes.
Before we wrap up and let go, what would you say to people who have never seen Python?
It's a comedy style that does take a little getting used to, but it's worth it. They are they aren't afraid to be silly. They aren't afraid to be just surreal. They aren't afraid to do wordplay. They aren't afraid to do just the most imaginative, creative, and thoughtful sketches that you have ever seen.
Agreed, absolutely. And I think you kind of brought up the probably one of the most important points. It's not one type of comedy. Even if you don't like, say, clever wordplay, you prefer slapstick. There's slapstick there. There's, reaction comedy. There's songs. There's, just great writing. There's an amazing mix of personalities that you think wouldn't really work together, but really have the most amazing chemistry.
Indeed.
And Max Relax says, start with Life of Brian, then watch Search for the Holy Grail. I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think I think Life of Brian's a good place to start.
Wasn't Holy Grail the first one they did?
I think so. Yeah, I think Life of Brian came after, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so Holy Grail was 75, Life of Brian was 79, Meaning of Life was 83. Damn. Those films are going back a bit now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, John Cleese is pushing 90 now.
He is, yes. And Phonebox Chicken says, I'm ripping yarns, Max. Absolutely. For me, it's just something that I always grew up watching. I remember watching it as a kid. It's something that always stuck with me because it was just so surreal. And at the time, it was the animation. I think it was Terry Gilliam's just weird little segues that really kind of stuck in my mind as much as the comedy because they were just so odd. I couldn't quite wrap my head around what I was seeing, but I was liking it anyway. I think it's that.
And you can see Terry Gilliam's influence on like a bunch of the cartoon shows I watched as a kid.
Yes, absolutely.
They were clearly inspired by that.
Says, don't forget Jabberwocky. Yeah, he went on to do a lot of really good films. I mean, Jabberwocky, Brazil is a great film, although not a comedy.
No.
No, not at all, but still a great film.
Time Bandits has its charm. There's problems with it, but Time Bandits is fun.
Yes, I haven't watched Time Bandits for a long time, actually, now that you mention it. I think the last big film that he did was the Dr. Parnassus one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. And then there's also the Don Quixote one with Johnny Depp that's been in production hell for decades now. like Terry Gilliam just can't catch a break in some of his films.
No, well, they tried to cancel him as well, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Yeah, not that I'm surprised, but really, guys, could we stop trying to cancel people, please?
This person makes a funny that I don't find funny. They shouldn't be allowed to do anything now. Go sit down. Let the adults have fun.
Yes, go sit in the corner. It's fine. Go let other people have the fun. Mark says Brazil is a perfect dystopian movie. It is. It's a great film. One I need to rewatch actually. I haven't seen in a while, but I do remember really enjoying it because it was so good. Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. And first and foremost, huge thank you to Project Storytime for joining me and being a fantastic co-host.
Well, thank you for having me.
What have you got coming up before we let everybody go and get on with their Friday?
Well, tomorrow is the beginning of 2022. And so in 24 hours now, so noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to pop my live stream cherry. Oh my goodness.
No, really?
Yes. I will be live tomorrow at this time at noon. We will just be kind of going over our plans for our we'll go into more detail as to what our plans are for 2022. We have a plan for weekly content, so we'll go over what that looks like. And we'll also be, we have a plan for doing at least one monthly live stream.
Nice.
We'll,
Oh, that's going to be fantastic.
and, also, that won't take too long. And then I'll just put the link in the chat, and whoever wants to come in and they can tell us what your plans are for the next year.
Nice, guys. Well, I know what I'll be listening to tomorrow as well. That is fantastic. Oh, I love that idea. And just quickly before we go, let me say a thank you to Brandon, who sent us a $2 super chat. He says, Danger Mouse. I love Danger Mouse. I like Danger Mouse as well. Danger Mouse was really cool. And quickly, I saw Cam in the chat as well. I hope you're okay, Cam. He says, Purple Valkyrie and Project Storytime, these guys are pure genius. Great way to end the year with some laughs. Had a serious concussion after the car accident. Thanks, much needed.
Oh my goodness.
You take care, Cam. Look after yourself and get some rest.
Yeah, indeed.
We were worried about you. But I am glad that you're okay. And yes, big thank you to Chris Persia as well, who's just put the link in. We have, in a couple of hours' time, we have got Pink and Purple. I know we missed it on Wednesday, but you guys seem to want one. So Arwin has kindly said that yes, we can do one. So that's coming.
We always need Pink and Purple.
So that will be the last show on this channel for 2021. And all I can say is, guys, have a very happy rest of your day. If I don't see you again, have a very happy new year. And let us pray that 2022 is a much better year for everybody.
Indeed.
And if you're not subscribed to Project Storytime, please do. Links are in the description. And he is doing his live stream tomorrow. So that will be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. So, guys, a huge thank you to everybody who joined me today, who joined us today, I should say. A huge thank you to everybody who sent super chats, who sent super stickers. A warm welcome and massive thank you to our new members. You guys are the best as always. And we will see you hopefully in a couple of hours. And take care, everybody, and thank you.
Bye, everyone.